do you think the game is all about what Lewis turns up?
I do, Rod, yeah. For much of that World Cup he played like a drain, didn't he? And then at the end he played like a dream. If he plays like he did in that last match against Ronnie Hybrex, then he'll win, Lewis. If he plays like he did in some of the other matches, then Whitlock will win. He's more consistent, Simon Whitlock, but he hasn't got that turbocharged gear that Lewis has, who could average 105, 106, 108. Whitlock's more your high 90s man. And he did beat Adrian Lewis twice in the league last year, 8-4 and 8-6.
Yeah, we have to say, Adi, not the best of years in his career was last year. Well, he was the reigning champion last year. And certainly he's got to step it up if he wants to stay really in that elite. He's got a lot to do this year, but this man seems to just plod along. If you make mistakes, he makes you pay for them. And really, this first game in this Premier League here in Belfast, it is all about mistakes and what mistakes you don't make, as Barney and Wade have proven.
You said it was all about Lewis, and with Lewis it's all about his first dart. The Aussie fans in, supporting the Wizard. And so far Lewis hasn't got that first dart right at all. He hasn't hit treble 20 in half a dozen darts.
60.
He's got to get that first dart right, Rod, hasn't he?
He has. If he misses, it's got to be above, although sometimes that's a little bit too high, but that's the perfect one.
100.
You would expect the 140 from there, from 80. But it is, if he starts to get that first dart low, then he's got to switch, or he tries to force a dart through the flights of another one. But at the moment, Whitlock is not punishing him for it.
Tongue-topping average from Raymond van Barneveld in his win over Gary Anderson, who wins 2. For Thornton and Wayne, we haven't even seen the greatest of them all, Bill Taylor. And the man of the moment, MBG.
58.
Yeah, they're on next after Lewis and Whitlock. He's left 170. Has that ever happened before?
Well, he seems to like this 170, taking it out more times than anybody else, but the second dart
81.
was hardly on the same dartboard by his standards. But Lewis, miles away, is going to have to hit a big score. Whitlock will come back, but perhaps one dart at the bullseye. And now, perhaps he's got to get that bullseye.
Got to hit. Well, double 5 it is. It's there. Simon Whitlock goes out on 89. Yeah, right, Rod. The single would have left the ball, but he had bigger and better ideas, didn't he? Just as Lewis has now.
Well, the first maximum on the board for Lewis, and that third dart was the Lewis of old, you know, that controlled ability that he just has, and I call him just flicking them in, and that's exactly what Adrian did there.
97.
Such a delight when he's on that form, and dare we say it, the first maximum towards the 9-darter. Predicted 3 9-darters this year in the Premier League, Rodders, and the way the standard is and the way the 9-darters have been all over the place, you've got to fancy it.
What tonight? Well, Van Gerwen always had 2 in one match, 2 in 2 legs, Rodney. Anything is possible.
You're right there, anything is possible. You never know with Van Gerwen and Taylor. We know Taylor's on form.
60.
Van Gerwen's been having a great 12, 14 months, so we're expecting fireworks in the final game of this evening, coming up shortly.
140.
At the moment, Lewis in control of this second leg. 9 darts thrown and on 81, so you would expect him to wrap up this second leg, just get himself comfortable, take the double out, just settles you down. And he won't go the bullseye route. Well, double 16 now though.
65.
Whitlock nowhere to be seen. Hasn't even entered the same postcode as Adrian Lewis yet in this leg.
100.
Still hasn't.
Adrian requires 16.
So surely the champ will level. 4.
It's on the second leg.
Boss the leg.
Lewis.
1-all.
Third leg is Simon to throw first. Game on.
Pretty comfortable 14 dart leg for Lewis. It's all about holding your throw. Don't give your throw away easy. Your opponent's going to have to break your throw, make him do it with a 12 dart leg. And Lewis starting to get the dart that goes in the treble right in the top, right up by that top wire, which is a great sign for Lewis. You always fancy him to follow it up when it sits in the right place. And the same with Whitlock. That's a perfect first dart for him. And Whitlock sometimes likes to put a little bit of extra power on the third or second or third dart just to smash it into the one already sitting in the treble.
Coming up next, a repeat of that brilliant World Championship final between Phil Taylor, 16 times World Champ, and Michael van Gerwen, the man every pundit will say is a future World Champ.
No question. Possibly more than one.
Perhaps not more than 16 though. I think the great man's record may stand the test of time. Lewis looking for his second maximum of the match. Possibly the most natural maximum hitter in the world of darts.
And what's impressive about Adrian, the last two legs, he's starting to get his scoring power going, but it's the rhythm, it's the pace of his throw. He's not rushing anything, especially the third dart. He's keeping it the same pace. And to break the throw.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I was about to say 60 was what he couldn't take out to knock Michael van Gerwen out of the World Championship, but he went big 20 and blocked himself. I wonder, he didn't want to go too high to block it, he went too low. Bust it. 16 for double 16 to make Lewis pay for the cardinal darting sin.
Unbelievable. That's what you've got to do. Your opponent makes a mistake, you absolutely punish him. And will that affect Adrian? I mean, that is, we say about don't miss big numbers, don't do this, don't do that. And he possibly thought, well, I don't want to throw it too high, like you say, to block the double top. But you don't hit the treble from there. But it just shows you all the professionals, they do have the odd flaw.
58.
And it just shows you that even the two-time world champ can make the same mistake that you or I would make down the local boozer. That's the great
60.
thing about darts. I don't think I even hit the treble.
Well, there's 10 between the averages, and Whitlock is behind, but 2-1 up. So a lot for Adie to do to get this back now. Will that affect him? I mean, if you're going to, anything you hit with the 60 is double top. You don't hit the treble 20. You know, you either throw it too high, it goes in double top, but
60
to hit the treble, it's kind of upset his rhythm a little bit as well.
He's picking an argument with anyone who will listen. Possibly that treble 20. Whitlock just has hardly scored at all, and he's yet to register a visit of 140 plus. Certainly, Rod, you don't win many darts matches at this level if you can't stack some digits up in that column, that 140 column.
You're exactly right, and Barnveld, that was one area where he absolutely hammered Gary Anderson on the 140 count. And Lewis, well, he's going to get 6 darts from 156 to level it up.
156.
And if he doesn't take, he just set it up. You don't need to take it out. They're 2 unlucky darts, and now
60.
a chance for Whitlock. A 140 would really put the pressure on.
Obviously finding it an interesting conversation with the dartboard, because he's continuing it, Adrian Lewis, at every opportunity. 96. Huge galleries here at the Odyssey Arena. You can barely find a seat. Double 18. It's 11.
60.
Well, should be back, but Lewis knows that Whitlock likes a 3-digit finish. Yes, he loves it. Double 13, unorthodox,
120.
and almost highly accurate. Got to get it this time, Rod.
Well, he doesn't want to split it. Well, he's hit it first dart, and that's a relief from Adie Lewis. He had 2 previous darts at it, and if Whitlock had hit that double 13, that would have been a sucker punch. It would have been a right haymaker, to be quite honest. But Whitlock straight in the treble. Starting to warm up, both players now.
Well, these are the two runners-up from the last 2 years in this terrific tournament. 2011, Adi Lewis lost to Gary Anderson. 2012, Simon Whitlock loses to Phil Taylor.
A visit without a treble from Whitlock, so it opens up for Lewis to certainly get back. That first up, when it sits like that, you have to fancy him. He's going to switch. You can only see a half-inch of the treble 20, so he switches. But that puts him right back in the leg.
Not only just right back in the leg, now Rod effectively in front in it.
44.
And a real opportunity.
Yes, and you've got to take those opportunities. I mean, Whitlock 6 starts without a treble. And Lewis goes and fires in a bad score. Whitlock going to put it right now. And he certainly is. And he's normally, when they're unhappy with the treble, it's normally the way the flights are sitting in the dartboard, and there we see it. The flights were covering the treble 20 up, so he had to switch to the 18s.
He's had a 108, Simon Whitlock.
106.
106 will put him back in front here as Lewis waits for Shanghai. And the Wizard wields his wand once more. Treble 18. Double 16 for another 3-figure outshot, and that could not have been closer without going in.
120.
Shanghai on 20s for Lewis. It's not a bad guide. Well, he would have expected to hit the treble 20 with that second. So now Whitlock, 3 clear darts. Doesn't waste too many chances. Does the Wizard, and that's exactly what he's done. He's put the dart straight in the treble. Weren't going to mess around. He takes the 3-2 lead.
140.
Lewis, he's got to try and break the throw. He's got to have one of these exceptional 12 dart legs to break the throw of Whitlock.
Well, is he going to find another treble? He is, and that is his first 140 plus visit in this darts match, and it comes at the start of the 7th leg. You'd have given me long odds against that, Rodney, wouldn't you?
140.
Well, it's incredible, isn't it? You would never ever say that he'd play that many legs without a 140 or even a 180, to be quite honest. But he's still 3-2 up, so he's doing everything else right. 60% on the doubles, that's where it's the difference to 33 for Lewis.
That's his second 140, 6 for Lewis, 2 180s for Jackpot. Well, this seesaw stuff here, because Lewis was on top a couple of legs ago, and now Whitlock has suddenly got back into the ascendancy. Strange game, this one.
Well, I think that's where Lewis has been not so good. It's his consistency.
100.
Just over the 90 averages for both players, which you'd expect them to be pushing the 100 average by now. And that's going to hurt.
120.
They give him 2 darts.
A
Double top if he returns. Whitlock, the last 3 legs, has had chances for the ton plus shots. You quite fancy him to have a dart, the 3rd dart, at the bullseye.
20 leaves ball. Well, it is then. The master of the middle of the board, Simon Whitlock, 1-2-1, 4-2.